have you join us on this program, Africa Discourse. I am Wilson Marshall. Today, it's all about the fight against terrorism and, of course, the exploits of the Chadian military. Yes, at first it was the insurgents taking out close to 52 to 92 soldiers of Chad military, and there was an onslaught led against Boko Haram sect or militia or terrorist group by the Chadian president, and it was epic according to report. Close to 1,000 terrorists killed in that onslaught, and that led also to the Chadian president pulling off or pulling out Chad's military from external kind of peacekeeping. Say they should come back home to really take care of their own territorial integrity, and they are saying that they will not be involved in external conflict, but rather they want to guard their own territory. Wow, quite epic, and people have been talking about this around Africa. What are the lessons to be learned from all this? With me here in the studio is a legal practitioner, Barrister Henry Nwanzo. Barrister, welcome to Africa Discourse. Appreciate your comment.
Good afternoon, listeners. You are welcome.
Okay, now here we go. Boko Haram and soldiers, they've been all in Nigeria for quite some years now, and we've been fighting against them today, so that they now form a coalition in West Africa to tackle Boko Haram. But all of a sudden, there was this onslaught led by the president of Chad against the militia terrorist group, and there was results. What do you have to say about it?
Well, you see, what matters in life is the purpose which, as an individual, you choose for yourself. The president of Niger, Chad, has already taken it upon himself to see how this can be brought to an end. But I know, like in Nigeria, they started in 2002 when Yusuf Mohammed was actually killed. And after the death of Yusuf Mohammed, not only Yusuf Mohammed, also others, including his in-law, Baba, that were all arrested at that point in time, and they were handed over to the police. Unfortunately, some overzealous police officers went ahead and eliminated them, claiming one thing or the other. But from that point up to today, Nigeria has never had peace, and you see that they are everywhere, and every day they are taking up arms against government. Initially, when they came into play, they came as a group who said that they don't want, the name Boko Haram is an Hausa word meaning westernization is sacrilege. That is anything that has to do with the people from the West, or a kind of education. What they actually wanted, they wanted a situation whereby everything they are doing or they want to do must be based on Islamic laws, as it were. And then that was how they started. And they also started with the intention of trying to fight corruption and trying to fight that discrepancy that actually existed between the rich and the poor, especially in that part of Nigeria and other parts of the world where they claim to practice this religion. But unfortunately, after the death of Muhammad Yusuf, and after some time before Shakara came into play and decided that it was going to be war all through. And you will see the genesis starting from 2009 down to 2013, even when the then president of the Federal Republic of President Goodluck Jonathan even talked about amnesty for them. The people refused that they are not interested in the issue of amnesty, because at that point in time, they have a lot of groups that were actually supporting them. You have the Al-Qaeda, you have the ISIS, and all whatnot. And then somewhere along the line in 2016 again, the son of late Muhammad Yusuf, decided to break away from the group because he felt that the violence which was being carried out by Shaka was high, especially in the north. Muslims were killed. It's not like their people were killed either in the mosques or. So he now decided to form his own group, a kind of faction, and they were all, as I speak to you, they are being supported by ISIL. I think they are known as ISWA. That is the name of this group, and they have been going on, carrying out deadly operations, as it were. Recently, in the one in Chad, remember on the 23rd of March, over 98 soldiers were killed in Chad. And the president felt that enough is enough and decided to lead his people, by example. He decided to lead his people. You are a president, you are a commander-in-chief. Commander-in-chief truly you are. You should be able to show by carrying out what it needs for you to be a commander-in-chief. That was why, he put on the common flag uniform, showing himself as a soldier, and they went out. And at the end of the day, over 1,000 Boko Haram were killed in Niger as well as in Nigerian territory. And the man has said that he's not going to stop there. They are continuing the onslaught. That is why he's asking those of their soldiers that are outside in peacekeeping force, Mali, so other parts of Africa, that they should return home because they have a serious matter at hand and they need their men to work it out for their own good. All right,
now they need their men to work it out for their own good. What's so special about Chad for them to have that outstanding result against insurgents? Because people like saying, I don't know where these people are. I don't know the base of the terrorist group in the West African region. How come Chad and their military led by the President Idrissi was able to know where they were, and it was massive victory for the Chadian army?
You see, the truth still remains. It's just like one trying to tell you, I don't know where the criminals are. Like when you hear police will tell you that, oh, these criminals, these Boko Haram people, they are not spirits, they are not ghosts. They are human beings, they live among the people. They have their camps at different places. Sometimes they come into a particular area, they occupy it. And when they occupy the place, they live there, try to live their life there just like the normal way of living. And they go out from there to carry out them. So they have been able to understand their operations, the military in truth, because the president, coming out to lead his troop has given them a kind of boost, have made the people to see reason why our nation matters most at this point in time. They have seen that, oh, the commander-in-chief is truly a commander-in-chief. He has shown that by example, by leading the forces, and the people were now outright. At the end of the day, though they lost some soldiers, about 50 or 55, thereabout of them actually died during this process of this onslaught. But the truth still remains that because the president has shown commitment, because the president has shown that he is truly a leader, because the president has shown that he is truly a commander-in-chief, and again, these soldiers have also been made to understand that even if at the end of the day you lose your life, your family will not be left behind. And whatever that is entitled to them as men who have decided to lay down their lives for the interests of their nation, that they will not be forgotten as if they were widows are forgotten. These are the things that are kind of a motivating factor. And you find out that, again, too, people, I try to see them that some of them who are the soldiers in these countries, some of them, they have interest at heart of fighting actually for the interests of their nation. They took the job as a kind of calling, because there is a difference between somebody who is, because I don't have a job, any opportunity that comes, let me just take it. There are two different things. You have persons who are trained, because again, you have to train them, and these persons have been trained, these persons are equipped, because these are the things they need. These persons have been equipped, these persons have been motivated, these persons have been encouraged, these persons have been made to understand that what you are doing today is not only for yourself, but for your country and for the generations unborn.
All right, if you just joined us, this is Africa Discourse. Sincere apologies for us not being able to bring the clip. We encountered some technical hitches. You would have seen President Idrissi addressing his commanders of the military, and he was there with them when the operation was carried out. Dishing out instructions, telling them how to go about it. And many countries in West Africa, they are really applauding the feat of the Chadian army, because they went out there with a singular purpose and they came out with result. It's all about the fight against terrorism and, of course, the exploits of Chad's military against insurgents. That is what we are talking about today. Now, pulling off the Chadian military from fighting against insurgents outside of Chad in the West African region, is that healthy for the combined effort in the fight against terrorism, no matter the reason?
Well, for now, a man whose house is on fire will first of all rescue himself first. And I see it from that angle that the president has looked at it. Presently, we have a serious challenge at hand. We can't be in other countries trying to help them restore peace in their own nation while we, as a people, we are passing through a difficult time. So at this point in time, because of the exigency, as it were, the president has done the needful by calling back those. Because you find that these soldiers that are outside have been trained. They have been trained in terms of how to manage crises of this nature. And you also discover that these Boko Haram insurgents, we're looking at it, they don't come out as if it is a kind of, it's more or less like a guerrilla warfare. You don't even, they strike at each point in time, they move, they relocate into a particular place, you know, and once in a while they come out, they strike, and they move. And the president has felt that the only way out is recall our soldiers, though for now it might have some effect, as it were, but I believe strongly that it is for the, first of all, you should be able to rescue yourself. And by the time you are, your home is at peace, you can now have the power to assist other persons to bring peace to their country. So the action he has taken, it is for the best interest of the people, and I strongly support it.
Then what about the agreement reached with other West African countries to fight the insurgents in this region, West African region?
Yes, the one he is fighting is not only fighting the insurgents in Chad. They came into Nigeria to, you know, in those 5 locations that they struck. Some are in Nigerian territory. They are no. So it's the same job that they are doing outside that they are not doing at home. For now, the most important place where they need action is within the Nigerian zone as well as theirs. So coming back home to take action, as it were, it is the same job they are expected to do while they were doing that in terms of the West African groups, as it were. But today, as whatever thing they are doing is still, from my own point of view, is still pursuing the same cause, because the cause is ensure that these Boko Haram sects no longer exist, as it were, within the time limits given by them.
Within the time limits given by them, is all about onslaught against insurgents. Now, immediately after this happened, Nigeria, in their own, choose to reveal some weapons that are going to use against terrorists like Boko Haram. And of course, Nigerian military head, talking about the ones spearheaded the fight against Boko Haram, talking about Lieutenant General Buratai, he said is going straight down to Borno, to base, to really dish out instruction for them to deaf that blow also that the Chadian army were able to do against Boko Haram. Is it connected to the victory of Chad, or is out of personal responsibility and pride to the country, from your own analysis?
From my own point of view, the Boko Haram has been there. They have not done what they need to do as a military that is their primary responsibility to protect the territorial integrity of this country known as Nigeria. The federal government before today has pumped in so much millions of dollars into buying of equipment, ensuring that these officers are well taken care of. But you still find out that what needs to be done has not been done. If the Chadian president has not led his troops for this success they have carried out, but General Buratai wouldn't have been talking about relocating to the north has nothing to do with it. If you relocate to the northeast, is he relocating to the war front or relocating to a hotel where he will be sleeping, enjoying all that has to do with what has he done for the fact that he has been left with such opportunity to ensure that the need is done? Look at the officers. Do you even need to tell your enemy what you want to do? You don't need to tell your enemy what you want to do, because the moment you tell your enemy, this is my preparation, this is what this is the answer I'm going to do, your enemy will be waiting for you, because already he is aware of what you want to do. The Chadian president, when he was leading, he didn't tell them that he is going to bring his, the weapons he's going to use or how he's going to do it. But before they knew what was happening, they were those in those 5 areas, they struck, and successfully they succeeded in doing the needful. Though they lost up to 50 or 55 soldiers. But compare that to over 1,000 or even more that were killed. And as we speak, you know, the man said that he is not pausing. He is moving forward. It is continuous onslaught until he is able to dislodge them completely from the borders as well as his country as it were. So Buratai relocating to the northeast has nothing to do with our soldiers motivated. Do they have the will to actually do the needful as demanded of them. Because you find out that at the time you are doing recruitment is, for all these soldiers as it were, recruitment is done based on who you know. Recruitment is not based on those who have the interest of the job. Because those are the things. Those who want, I love this job, I want to do it. They are two different things. You are doing this job because it is what you love to do. And when you are doing, that is why you are doing excellently well. So a man who has taken up the responsibility, I want to do this job, and decide to, he will do it to the best of his knowledge. So Brutai and his cohorts, as it were, I know some of them will have the interest of doing this job. But you among them, you will find certain persons who also belong to this other group. It's just like when you are a member of like the political party that you find. They will hold meeting at night somewhere. Maybe I'm political party A, and now B will be holding Monday. At the end of the meeting, somebody in political B will come and brief those in political what transpired at the meeting. It's the same thing. So you find it, that is what we are finding in our own situation. By the time the military will get themselves ready with what to do and how to go about it, certain persons who amongst them too will give out information to those people. That's why you have the ambush. Soldiers are killed. How did they know that the soldiers are coming? They ambush them and kill them. Because some persons give out information who are also members of the recruitment. Check out the recruitment processes. How are they recruited? Somebody might be a member of Boko Haram. You'll be recruited into the Nigerian army. At the end of the day, he will be... But
you don't know about that.
No, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You look at the recruitment process. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. But that is what, in the society, that is what you find. So, but certain persons have their own interests. At the end of the day, the interest of the nation does not move. So until there is a motivating factor for our soldiers, until the fact that a soldier dies at the terms of protecting the territorial integrity of this nation, he will know that by the time he leaves, his family will be taken care of. He will be very sure that his children will go to the university and they will not, be he will be very sure that wherever they are living presently, that the landlord will not chase them out. There will be home for them to put their head, even if he is not alive tomorrow to continue. The man will be able to lay down his life. But because the man has seen that even his allowances are not paid, even when they claim it has been given out to be paid, somebody has kept it somewhere. The man is languishing. He cannot even send money to his family that are at home waiting. The wife and the children are complaining. The man can never get concentrated because he's troubled at home by the family, who the wife and the children are complaining that the school fees, the landlord is on their neck or whatever thing is happening to them. How can that such a man concentrate in the war front? The man will not concentrate. So these are some of the issues that look. There should be motivation. There should be encouragement. There should be training. The equipment that is needed to enable them do this job as it is. And persons who are going to be recruited into this military as it were should be people who have passion for it, not somebody who say, I am looking for a job. They are two different things.
All right, now you're talking about passion. Does it mean that our military they don't have passion? Is a passion lacking because it took a military of Chad, begging your pardon, small Chad, so to speak, to chase, to create this massive fear even in the heart of Boko Haram. And here we have Nigeria, the giant of Africa, where this group originated from. They are still operating, giving soft targets, sometimes major targets. I mean, is it the zeal that we don't have?
Yes, it is.
Or we lack the manpower?
No, we have what manpower? You have a lot of youths who are ready today. If you say, come and join the military, they are ready to join. But the question there is, by the time the recruitment is being done, who is being called to join? That is the question. So you must have people who have the zeal. I want this job because I want to defend my nation. That is one thing. Again, you will find out that our culture or the way we are brought up, nobody, we are brought up, this idea of self has, taken much of us. That is why nobody thinks about the nation as it were. I always advocate that our children, not our children now, because our children are equally taking over. Our grandchildren or those yet unborn should be made to understand that this nation should come first before you as an individual. Until you begin to see your nation as your primary purpose, that is the only way you will have that mind to say, I can die for this nation. But today, before God and man, you know of a truth. Very few persons can decide to overcharge their life for this nation when it becomes necessary. Many persons will prefer to stand aloof. Many persons will prefer to say, consign me. Because they know of a truth that if something happens to them, what will be my benefit? Look at, we are passing through a very difficult time, as it were, presently because of the COVID-19. Look at where are the councillors? Where are the local government chairmen? Where are the members of the House of Assembly and House of Representatives? I live in a small community here. Nobody has even come. Apart from a few of us who are members that have distributed a few things to members of the government. Where is the man who is a councillor of a particular ward? What has he done to uplift the life of the people who live within his environment? Where is the member of the House of Assembly? Those who share rice, salt, pepper, and all whatnot during election. Where are they today? Not even sanitizer, they cannot share. Not even these face masks that can be produced, massively produced. Call a tailor within you, cut all the pieces he has in his shop and begin to produce them. Wash them with Dettol or Isaiah or Hypo, and at night, and then in the morning you put it on again and begin to go. Where are these persons? Nobody has done anything. You will see people shout, we are waiting for government. We are waiting for, how can you claim you are waiting for government? Where there are people who God has blessed, God has placed in a particular position to uplift the lives of the people, and they have failed to do. So these are the things we find in the society. Because of self, a man now gets to that position, like these people we are talking about, the man will not want to die, because he knows quite well that anything happens to him, he is on his own. His family will suffer. So that zeal is not there. That zeal, that commitment to say that I want to rescue, I want to ensure that that which is happening no longer. Who is Boko Haram to be harassing Nigerian soldiers? That is the question you will ask yourself. That today, tomorrow, you will say that, oh, Boko Haram is occupying this part of Nigeria in the northeast. Tomorrow you say, oh, they have blocked the route towards Damaturu, down to Yobe and all what. These are the excuses. Where are they? Where are the Nigerian soldiers that have been mobilized to the northeast all this while? What have they done? Are you saying this Boko Haram day in, day out? Where are they coming out from? Do they not have an environment where they live or where they stay, that they come out every day to do what they are doing? So these are the issues that need to be put right.
All right, well, today is an abridged version, okay? We've been talking more about the exploits of the Chadian army. You've heard also from the legal practitioner, Barrister Henry Walzo, for giving us his own thought and opinion about what it transpired and how he's going to encourage others in the fight against Boko Haram. Barrister, thank you so much for coming.
God bless.
Don't you worry, when time comes to have a normal full 1 hour. Okay, thank you so much for coming.
God bless you.
And happy Easter to all of you there. Bye for now.